Okay, yalla.
Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Today's daf is daf nun hey. We stopped yesterday, daf nun daled with Beis, the second line from the wide lines. Ki Asr Rav Shmuel bar Yehuda Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Af mish Amar Mashtachvel Balachayim lo Asran. Even though the halach is if somebody bows down to an animal, it does not become Asr Bahana, right? It doesn't become Asr Lehedyet. Even if it's his own animal, it doesn't become Asr. Can't bring it for a carbon, but for a person who owns an animal and he bows down to it, it doesn't become Asr. Asan chalipin lavodas kechavim asran. You should know, says Rabbi Yochanan, that if you exchange your avodas kechavim, let's say, for somebody's animal, you give your avodas kechavim to someone, let's say Ruvain, and then Ruvain in exchange gives you his animal. You should know that's chalipin of avodas kechavim, and it becomes asr. That's when the animal does become asr. If you bow down to your animal, the animal does not become asr. But if you use your animal, if you use somebody to exchange with your Avodah Zarah, asan chalipin, then asran. Ki asr Rav Amar pligi bar Rabbi Shol Rabbi Yosef Rabbanon chador chalipin asurin chalipe chalipin mutarin. Chador afilu chalipe chalipin nami asurin. What does chalipe chalipin mean? Chalipe chalipin means, let's say, I give you my Avodah Zarah for your animal. So now I have your animal. Now I have your animal. That animal becomes asr because I exchange it for the Avodah Zarah. Then I go to Reb Shol, say I have an animal, right? You have a watch. Right? I want to exchange the animal that I got from my Avodah Zarah from Rechavi, and I want to exchange this animal for your watch. So that's called chalipe chalipin.
And the watch is
and
also
the machloikas is whether chalipe chalipin means the watch becomes asr. Oder nicht. Maybe it stops by chalipin and it doesn't go further. That's the shaila. Says the Gemara. My time the madam chalipe chalipin asurin. Why does the madam say it is asr? Amakra the yiso chedem kamoyhu. The word kamoyu means kol shatamahayim imenu arehu kamoyu. Whatever you get from that exchange also is like the exchange itself, and it becomes aser. Ve'idach. Why does the other mandamar say chalipa chalipana is mutarin? Omar kra, because the pasuk says at the end of Yisacherem kamoyu, the pasuk says at the end ki cherem hu. The word hu is extra. What does hu mean? Hu veloy chalipa chalipin. Only the chalipin is aser is cherem, but not whatever you exchange for the exchange, which means the watch for the animal. The watch does not.
Netzar shama.
Netzar shama. Ve'idach. What does the Manda Omer who says Chalipa Chalipin is also? What does he do with the drasha of who? Arlen Klei Kerem, right? Is also what happens. It's aser b'hana.
כל הגמרא הזאת היא ככה, אתה יודע, גם כי למדנו לפני עבר, חליפין. הכל כזה, אתה שם לב?
Yeah, it goes one step, two steps removed. Yeah.
גם אתמול למדנו.
Very similar to Tmura.
Well, it's like
It's exchange. Tmura means an
exactly.
exchange.
Yes.
Tmura also you Kodesh.
Ah.
So the original also.
Saying just like by hektish, she's saying lahavdil by hektish. It also works that way.
And it's also by the hectares by tuma, right? It stops.
So this is by Avodah Zarah right now. So shayla if it stops by chalipin or not, but the chalipin for sure becomes aser.
Right.
So here the Gemara says, what are you going to do with the
So
who?
again, that's like, so it becomes a rishon.
Right, the Rishon and Sheni. You can say,
yeah.
by Tumah, that's what you mean.
Yes.
Ah, okay,
Yes,
very nice.
yes.
Nice to tell.
Okay.
Yeah, by Arla Klei Kerem, we know Arla is the first 3 years of a tree, and Klei Kerem is when you do Kalayim with a Kerem. So there it becomes Asr Bahana. Now, what if you take Shemachron, the Kiddush B'dmein Mekudeshes? If you sell the Arla, you sell the Klei Kerem, and after that money, use that money to Mekadesh a woman.
Right.
The halach is, she is Mekudeshes, which means that the money does not become Asr. The money does not become asr. If you, in exchange for the klei kerem of the arla, you receive money and then you use that money to mekadesh a woman, it works. So we only say who cherem kicherem who. Only by Avodah Zarah do we say chalipin is asr, but not by arla klei kerem.
אני מחליף קהילה קרן באורלה?
No, I sell arla. I sell arla. I sell you my arla. I receive money. I receive money. I sell you my arla. Now I receive money.
And then?
Now I want to use that money to mekadesh a woman.
So you're saying that's mutter?
So I receive the money in exchange for the arla.
He gave here two examples.
Two examples, yeah. Arla and klei kerem.
Right.
Correct.
So again, they're both of them.
Asr Bahana.
Oh no. So again, the money that you get for the orla is
Mutter.
Another. You're allowed to be kaddish
Yes,
with it,
and also klei kerem. So that's learned from kicherem hu that only when it comes to Avodah Zarah that the exchange, whatever you exchange it for, is aser. But with arla klei kerem, it's not like that. The idach arla klei kerem latzicha miyuta. Other Madama says, no, I don't need who for that. You know why? Because the havlav is chav meshvius shnei ksuma bank echad v'chol shnei ksuma echad ein melamdin. Since I have two places in the Torah where the Torah says that if you exchange it for another thing, that other thing becomes usher. Why did the Torah have to tell it to me by Avodah Zarah and Shemitah? Why not by Avodah Zarah? And that's called the Binyanav. I would learn the whole Torah from Avodah Zarah, that anytime you exchange a Surah no, whatever you exchange it for also becomes Asr Ba'ana. Why does the Torah have to tell it to me in two places? So there's a concept that Kol Shnei Ksuvin, Abo and Ke'echad, they're teaching me the same halacha. Ein Malamden, you cannot learn any other halacha from these two. It must be the Torah the reason why the Torah specified this halacha by two, singled it out by these two places, is to tell you that only these two places the halacha is, it's Asr Ba'ana if you exchange it for something else. How do I know if it's chavim? If you exchange it for another thing, it becomes asr because it says v'yisacherim kamoyu, right? Kol mashata mahayim imenu. That we were dashing before. And shvius. How do I know if somebody sells shvius shmita? Yeah, peiros shvius gedulei shvius, which you're not allowed to sell. You're not allowed to schayra with peiros that grow in shmita, right? So how do I know if somebody sells it?
Well, they don't belong to you. That's
So how do I know if somebody sells it that it's toifus even in the value and the money that you got? That also becomes asr. It says the word kodesh by the gedulim of Shnas HaYovel. Shnas HaYovel has the dinner like Shemitah. Ma kodesh toifus is nom, just like by hekdesh, right? If you want to be poy the hekdesh, so you can transfer the kedusha from the hekdesh onto money. So just like by hekdesh, kodesh toifus is nom, you can make the money that you want the hekdesh to position on aser. Right? Av shvius tefes as the mev asura. So too by Shemitah, if you take the kedushas shvius, you have peiros of Shemitah, and you want to now sell it, right? So whatever money you get for it will also have kedushas shvius.
Does the kedusha leave the peiros itself?
Asks the Gemara. Very good. Next question. Baruch Shekavanta. Ma kodesh toifus is damav. If you're comparing it to hektish, so then it has to be Avshvias tefesses is domeo v'yoytzel.
Yeah.
Then the pair should be yoytzel also.
And it does not.
Talmud loymar tia. For that I have another word.
Yeah.
The Bashmita does not because it's tia. Bavayosa tehei. The pairs of Shemitah remain kadosh. The pairs of Shemitah remain kadosh. Shulam aleichem eita. Nice to see.
Okay.
Yeah. Bavayosa tehei. It stays Shemitah, and not only stays Shemitah, but also the money also has. Kedusha shvius. Hakeitzad says the Gemara. Hakeitzad lokach bepeiros shvius basar. What if a guy buys? He exchanges peiros shmita for basar. Elu ve'elu mizbaran b'shvius. They both have kedushas shvius. What happens?
Kedusha never leaves the peiros.
Tia, it blibes on the peiros,
stays with
and
it.
kodesh it gets transferred onto the basar.
Right.
Gemara says, "Lokach basar dogim." What if you buy with that meat? Okay, now you go to a sheni to a shlishi.
Right.
What if you buy with that meat fish? Yeah.
Right.
Yotza basar. Now, very interesting halacha. Now the kedusha leaves the basar, v'nichnasu dogim, and now the kedusha goes on to the fish. Badogam yayin, yotzu dogam, nichnas yayin. By yayin shemel, yotzu yayin, nichnas shemel. Okay, it's achron nitmas v'shviyas. Only the last item that you buy, that gets kedusha shviyas. Upriyatzma, in the original source, the pair itself also has asr.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's how it works by Shemitah. The idach. Why do you need who according to the other man? The Omar yeshnek sumah echad. He's holds ksava shnek sumah echad melamdin v'yitzter chulu matinu, and that's why I need who to be might arlen klei karen. Okay, we start from the Mishnah. Chevra, you came just in time for this incredible Mishnah. The next Mishnah. Shul malachim v'sachayim v'chashulim and Shmuli. Let's go. Nun daled amid beis. I already said hello to Eitan. Nun daled amid beis. The Mishnah. Shalu, middle of the Amid. Shalu es hazkenim beroimi. Unbelievable Mishnah.
Here we go, right here.
Philosophers, yeah? Rome, we were just in Rome a couple of months ago. Yeah? Rome coming to life over here. The Zkenim, the Chachmei Yisrael were asked by the philosophers, the Roman philosophers, the following. Im ein ritzoynoi, b'avodas gichavim, if Hashem is so against Avodah Zarah, lama einam avatla. Why does he have it around? Why does he have all these getchkas around if he hates Avodah Zarah? He doesn't want Avodah Zarah, so let him be mavatlet. Amru lahen, so the Zkenim said, if they would have served what we don't need, let's say they served a piece of wood that nobody's going to use, then you're right. Hashem would have completely been mavatlet from this world. But some people, they serve the sun, and some people serve the moon, and they serve the zodiac, the stars and the mazolas. Constellations. So Abid HaKadosh Baruch Hu Salomah Pnei Hashoitim. Hashem is going to remove the sun because there's a bunch of fools that are serving the sun. Avadi's not going to do it. So if you're telling me why doesn't Hashem destroy the Avodah Zarah that they use, which is a piece of wood, okay, maybe we can have a conversation about it. But what are they using? They're serving the sun, the moon. So he said they're serving the sun, the moon. So Hashem is not going to be ma'abed olam Pnei Hashoitim. Amru lehen. So the philosopher says, Im kain ye'abed av she'ein tzarich la'olam bay. There are plenty of guys who serve inconsequential objects, like a stone, a piece of stone, which it's not useful. So let HaKadosh Baruch Hu be mevatel it. You just told me the reason why Hashem doesn't do it is because it's the sun, the moon, and the whole world needs it. So a bunch of fools are going to ruin the world. But over here, there are a bunch of fools that are serving davar she'ein tzarich la'olam bay. So let him destroy that. So the Gemara says, this Canaan answered, so this Canaan said, if Hashem would do that, then he would strengthen the goyim who serve the sun and the moon. Because they'll say, now I have proof that my God is the real God, the sun is the real God. You know why? Because they weren't destroyed from the world. If Hashem picks and chooses which Avodah Zarah to destroy, he's only going to destroy the stones, let's say, because it doesn't have a tzarich la'olam. So those who serve the sun are going to say, you see, your Avodah Zarah is not emes, but mine is. Otherwise, why wasn't mine destroyed? So Hashem Hashem says, let fools be fools. Fools will be fools. They'll do what they want, but I'm not going to destroy my world because there are a bunch of fools who are serving the sun, the moon, the constellations, or even the stones and the rocks, because if I destroy that, the other ones will be strengthened and say, oh, you see, mine wasn't destroyed, so mine is emes. So Hashem leaves it as it is.
הרב, זה תופס לכל הדברים, לא רק לשמש ולירח ולכוכבים. כי כמו שאמרנו, תאר לך שמיליון טיפשים עבדו את כל המיליון אשרות בארץ, אז השם מה, יהרוס את כל העצים בארץ? Hashem going to destroy all.
Correct. Very good.
He's going to destroy
That's
his
exactly
world.
it. That's what this Canaan said.
It's not only to the sun and the moon. It's
Correct.
everything.
Excellent. Gemara is going to talk about it. Gemara is going to say, the Gemara is going to expand on it. You're right. Absolutely. Tanu Rabbanan. The Brisa echoes the Mishnah. Shola philosophinas as a Canaan. Philosophers asked the Chachmei Yisrael in Rome, Beroimi. If Hashem doesn't want people should serve Avodah Zarah, why isn't it destroy it? If they would have served something the world doesn't need, it would have destroyed it. But they're serving the sun, the moon, the stars, and the constellations. So Hashem should destroy the world because of a bunch of fools. He lets the world, go on as it goes on. And the fools that are mikalkal and they do averis, they'll be held accountable for it. They'll stand judgment. Another proof that HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't mix himself into lo mitarev, to change the natural way of the world because of a bunch of sinners and a bunch of fools. Imagine a person steals wheat, right? A measurement of wheat. And he takes that wheat that he stole and he starts planting it in his ground. What are you going to say? Hashem is not going to allow it to sprout, right? He lets the world run the way it goes. And they will be held accountable, those fools who do averis, who steal. Another avera. Somebody who lives with his friend's wife. So you think she's not going to get pregnant? Hashem allows nature to run its course. And whatever fool decides to do against Ratzon Hashem, he's going to be held accountable later on, but Hashem doesn't mix in, Hashem doesn't get involved in uprooting and changing nature for a bunch of chaitim. Okay. It's not enough if a person lives with his friend's wife and has a child. It's not enough, says Hashem. Hashem is upset about it. Hashem says, it's not enough that Rishoyim take my signet ring, my signature, right, which is the Tzelem Elokim, right? The person's face is the Tzelem Elokim. And they make it hefker, right? And they use it to sign in whichever way they want to have children in my image, to create children in my image, right? That is through an aveira. They, so to speak, force Hashem to put it against his own will. Hashem doesn't want there to be mamzerim. Hashem doesn't want there to be children that are created through Averis. So matrichen oisi machtimen oisi balkarchi. Hashem does not like that at all. Shol philosophers echad Rabbi Gamliel. A philosopher asked Rabbi Gamliel, Kosev v'teiraschem, steht in the Torah. Yeah, ki Hashem Eloikecho eish oichluhu kel kano. Hashem is like a consuming fire, which means he takes revenge, right? He takes revenge in anyone who serves Avodah Zarah. So the Gemara says, why is Hashem only taking revenge in the people who serve Avodah Zarah, and doesn't take revenge in the Avodah Zarah itself? Why is it only in the Oivdei Avodah Zarah, but not in the Avodah Zarah itself? Or my Lord, so we're going to say, I'll tell you a mashal. I'll answer you with a mashal. There's a melech basdam that had one son. And this son had a dog, right? And he decided to name his dog his father's name. Whatever his father's name was, or whatever his father's name is, he decided that's the name of the dog. And any time the son would swear, what would he say? Omer, he would swear, B'chaye kelev abba. In the life of my dog, whose name is like the name of my father.
It's like Yosef taking a false shvua in the name of Paro.
Oh, so he's using
So
the dog.
He did a badafka so that it shouldn't be a real shvua. Yeah.
Okay. So he's swearing, this prince is swearing in the life of his dog, who's named with the name of his father. Sheshama Melech, when the Melech hears what's going on, Al Mihu Koyes, who's going to get angry at? Al Habenu Koyes, Al Akelavu Koyes. Which one? The son or the dog? Al Habenu Koyes, on his son. He's the one who decided to name this dog after him, and every time he swears, he decides to swear in the name of the dog that's really named after him. Amar Lois, so the philosopher got angry at Rabbi Gamliel. He says, "Hey, slow down. You're calling my Avodah Zarah, you're comparing it to a dog. What do you mean? My Avodah Zarah is the real deal. It's the real deal, my Avodah Zarah. Amar Lois, Rabbi Gamliel said, Amara Isa, why do you believe that your Avodah Zarah is the real deal? It has powers. Amar Lois, I'll tell you. Pam achas naflad leika b'yireinu. There was a fire that broke out in our city, and the entire city burned to the ground. And that was the only house that didn't burn down. What? The base of Avodah Zarah. The house that Avodah Zarah was stored in, the only house left standing. Yeah? It's like we hear the stories, lahavlu, right? We hear the stories with Shemitah. Kamamius, right? That they were the only. They
More
kept
than that,
Shemitah,
more
and
than that,
they grew.
It stopped.
There's-
There was a gefa for locusts or something like that. It stopped at the border of Komanius.
So
at the
we
border.
use it as proof that the Rabbeinu Shalom exists, right? The Rabbeinu Shalom, yesh din v'yesh dayin. If you keep mitzvahs, you keep Shemitah.
Yeah.
So this guy also is telling a story. His story loudly is that there was a fire in the city, all burnt down, except for this base of Avodah Zarah. So Amar Gamliel answered him, I'll give you another mashal to explain. Yeah, Lemelech Bosa Vadam Shesarcha Olav Medina. Yeah, there's a Melech Bosa Vadam that his entire country rebelled. Now he wages war against the country. Who does he wage war against? The living or the dead? He's going to wage war against the living. The dead are dead. Omar Loi. So over here also, basically, he was saying to him that when Hashem brings a fire on a city, He's punishing who? The living or the dead? Your Avodah Zarah is dead, so there's no reason to burn down the house of your Avodah Zarah. Everybody else is alive. They're the ones who need the wake up call. Your Avodah Zarah is inanimate, it's garnished dog. So now he got double upset. Amar Loi, the philosopher said, first of all, kelavat karoy. So first you call my Avodah Zarah a dog, a hunt, yeah, and now mesa karoy, and now you're calling it a dead. Imkein ya abdeno mina oilam, meaning, if you say it's a dog and you say it's dead, why doesn't Hashem destroy it? You just told me if I serve the sun or the moon, the world needs it, so Hashem is not going to destroy it. But if I serve a inanimate object, which has no tzoyrech, there's no need for it in the world, right, so let Hashem destroy it. If you're right, see, catch 22, puts him in the corner. If you're right that it's a kelev or a mace, why does Hashem destroy it? So he said to him,
He
Amaloi.
asked that before.
Ah,
אילו
so I guess no,
הדבר-
this is different,
is
different
it
people.
different?
Different people.
Oh, different
Yeah,
people.
yeah. Amaloi, ilu davar she'enu tzarech lo yoivden arei mavatla. You're right. If there would be no need, yeah. Arei oivden l'cham l'van l'cham l'mazos l'fikim l'giyos ya'avnom l'ashaitim. Hashem should destroy his world because of shaitim. Right. V'cheinu oimer osef koil me'al pnei adama ne'um Hashem. Hashem says, do you think I'll destroy everything on the face of my earth because they serve Avodah Zarah? Asaf Adam ubehema Asaf oifa shemayim et ga'ayam machshel zershayim. Am I going to destroy all the birds, the fish, all the animals? Yeah, because just because they're Rishayim, are nichshal, so I should destroy them from the world. Yeah, I'll only destroy the men, the people themselves, but I'll leave my world in place. So he said, Rabbi Gamliel said that Hashem doesn't get involved in destroying Avodah Zarahs because there are people who serve also the Cham and the Levana. Yeah, and therefore Hashem doesn't want to destroy the Cham and the Levana. And once he doesn't destroy the Cham and the Levana, he can't destroy everything else, because then, like the Mishnah said, on a machzik in yedei avdeim.
You ever heard of the cargo cult? You know what that is?
No.
It's like in the Southeast Asia, places like these little islands where people are living that have never seen West during World War II.
Okay.
The army would come and they'd build a landing strip in the middle of the jungle.
Okay.
And there were native people there. And all of a sudden, they would bring these marvelous things from the West. They would bring...
And they were awestruck. Okay, so what does it have to do with this?
Anyway, the point is this.
Yeah.
After the army left, these people still go out into the forest and they build a landing strip.
Oh, wow.
Because they're hoping that maybe a plane will come and bring all these wonderful... This is another getchka.
Wow.
Because they have no clue
Super
what's
interesting.
what's
Yeah,
behind
the Western
all
world.
of this.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. So we can more weiter. Shol Agrippas Sar Tzavas Rabbi Gamliel. Agrippas, the general, asked Rabbi Gamliel the following: Ksivit Raschem ki Hashem elkecha eish oichlu el kana klum eskana el chacham b'chacham. You know, jealousy only exists with your own people, with your own peers. Chacham b'chacham, gibber b'gibber, asher b'asher. Right? It's based on the pasuk of Al Yisrael chacham b'chachmasoi, gibber b'gvurosoi, asher b'asheroi. Right? That's the pasuk in Yirmiyah. So here, he asked, why is Hashem getting jealous, so to speak, from Avodah Zarah? It sounds like Hashem, the Torah says, Hashem is like consuming, he'll consume you with fire because he's jealous. That's what he thought the word kana means. So why would Hashem be jealous of an inanimate object? If you're telling me that there's somebody actually that is on somewhat on the level, then that's okay. Then I understand. But nobody's on the level. God is Shem Echad. So why is he so jealous? Amaloi says no. You got the wrong interpretation of jealousy over here. Kana doesn't mean jealousy in the sense we all use the word kana. The mashal would be la'adam shenasa isha al ishtay. A person marries a second wife, right, over his first wife. Right now he has two wives. So. Atzara, right.
Atzara, right.
Chashuva mimeno ein miskana ba. If the second wife is chashuva, then the Rishoina is not miskana. Pchusa mimeno miskana ba. But if it's less than her, then she is miskana. She's makpid on her husband. So what's the teretz? מה התירוץ פה?
עבודה זרה, זה פחותה.
So to Hashem is not envious of idols, rather only when people serve the idols over him, then he's jealous.
He's makpid. Jealousy means makpid on the oivdim, not on the idols.
Lahavdil, the idols like the second wife, right?
Right.
So it doesn't care if people are still serving him while the second wife, the idol's still there, then who cares?
Right.
But as soon as the idol starts getting more attention,
that's
then
what it
Hashem
is.
cares.
That's what
very,
it is.
very, very good mashal.
Yes. Yeah. It means because they give more attention to the idol. That's what upsets Hashem, not because of the idols themselves. He's not jealous of the idols themselves. Wow, beautiful. Okay, so more back to Rabbi Akiva. There's a fellow's name is Zunan. He told Rabbi Akiva the following: We both know that Avodah Zarah is garnished. And yet we see people who they go into the base of Avodah Zarah and they daven to their getchka, so to speak, and their dvorim are falling apart and they come out healthy. So how could you say? I mean, if the Avodah Zarah has nothing, there's nothing to the Avodah Zarah. It's a nothing. So why does it help when people go to the base of Avodah Zarah sick or they're falling apart and they come out strong and healthy? So my timer, exactly. There was a very reliable person, trustworthy person in the city, and everybody would give him their stuff to guard. Without Adam, they trust him. And then one guy comes to the city and gives him with Adam. In other words, this one guy didn't trust him. And then one time he forgot and he gave it to him without Adam. His wife said, Boy v'nichperenu. Let's take whatever he gave you without Adam. Right? He never trusts you. This time he made a mistake, gave it to you without Adam. Let's take it. Let's be kaifer. Let's deny that he ever gave it to you. Meaning like as a punishment, yeah? So Gemara says, Amar Allah, the Shomer said, Shul Malaich of Tzvi, Amar Allah, v'mechipnei sheshoyte zeh osa shaloi kahigen, anu na'abed esamuna seinu. What do you mean? We should lower ourselves and, become untrustworthy because this guy did something which is shaloi kahigen, right? Why is it shaloi kahigen? Because he never trusted him. So if you don't trust somebody, he's an aveira. If I don't trust you, there's an aveira to give you or lend you money without proper proof. You need Adam. So since this guy never trusted him, and he always had Adam, always made sure to have proof, and now this time he was negligent, right? He forgot Adam. So he did something shaloi kahigen. It was improper to give it to him without Adam. So he said, let's deny it to punish him. Okay, did shaloi kahigen. So he said, what do you mean? We're going to play God? We have a responsibility. We have to be truthful. We have to be reliable. We can't lose ourselves and our own values simply because somebody else did something wrong. We can't lose our own values simply because somebody else did something wrong. Did I ever tell you the story? A person in Israel called me. He was partners with somebody.
It's always good to hear it again.
Oh, Pesach came. This is perfect timing, by the way.
He was partners with.
He was partners with somebody, and the guy ripped him off, and totally stole, cleaned him out. And he had to find a different job, 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. Instead of investments, he had to find a different job, and he became a Rebbe. He became a Rebbe. Not to say that all Rebbeim have no other option, like that. A lot of Rebbeim. A lot of Rebbeim are Rebbeim because they're passionate about it. But if all else fails, become a Rebbe, right? So he became... Just saying. God forbid. The Rebbeim are... I was a Rebbe for 5... Listen, the Rebbeim... we're chavrusas here, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Not all Rebbeim are Rabbi Gold. Some of them.
Okay, all right. So he became a Rebbe. And wouldn't you know, 3 years into his Rebbistava, he has a kid in his class. And the kid is the son of his ex-partner who was the Ganav. Now, this is unbelievable. I would use the Lashon Gemara that the Gemara uses over here. Mipnei shoyte zeh she'asa shaloi gahagen anu na'abed esamuna seinu. Because somebody wronged me and somebody did an inappropriate thing. We should lose ourselves and our values and our emunah. It's an unbelievable line for life, right?
What did the poor kid do? Didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. And he said the hardest thing was when it came to parent-teacher conference. And the father and the mother had to sit in front of him and he had to give a report about their son. And he was like, it was impossible, but he did it. And so the idea is that just because somebody else wrongs you, you cannot lose yourself.
That's
right?
That's incredible Kiddush Hashem.
Yeah.
Incredible Kiddush Hashem.
Right. It's unbelievable. That's the Gemara says.
I don't think
so
I would
this,
be able to do that.
No, I don't think I would be able to do it either. Yeah. Amar Loi, Amar La.
You're very diplomatic,
Amar La. Afkach. Yisurin. Also
It's a
Yisurin.
miracle, though.
What's it?
They
Which
come
part?
out healed.
Oh, here too. When they send Yisurin on a person, when Hashem decides to give a person Yisurin, listen to this. we are mashbiya yisurim. You shouldn't leave, right? You shouldn't leave and go punish this person. Ela b'yom ploni. It's mamish. It's an exact date when the yisurim arrive at a person's doorstep, and it has to, the yisurim, I guess, are like an energy that they have to swear to Hashem. They're not going to predate whatever the date is to start the yisurim. V'lo teitzu ela b'yom ploni b'shah plonis. Va'al yedei ploni, through a certain doctor, whatever it is. V'al yedei sam ploni, and through a certain medication. Kiven shegiz man and lotzeis, halach zel beis avedes kechavim. Punkt, when the time arrived for the yisurim to leave this person's body, right? He happened to be in a Beis Avodah Zarah. It's coincidental. But Amr Yisurim, so the Yisurim said, Dinu Shalinetze, we don't want to leave right now. You know why? Because if we leave right now, everybody's going to attribute it to Avodah Zarah. So the Yisurim are hesitant to leave the person's body because the Yisurim are afraid that if they leave Punkt in this exact moment when he walked into the Beis Avodah Zarah, he's going to attribute it to Avodah Zarah. It's going to be Chil Hashem. Still, V'oimrim, and Chayzer V'oimrim, and then they decide, no, we have to leave because we gave a Shavua to Hashem that we're going to leave in this day, in this hour. Because this fool stepped in a Beis Avodah Zarah. We'll violate our Shavua. So here, what he said is unbelievable. He said, when you see a guy or you see a guy in a Beis Avodah Zarah walk out healthy, you should know that prior to his walking into Avodah Zarah, there was already a date where the Yisurim swore to Hashem they'll leave this person's body. He happened to walk in then, and that's when it left. So the Mela, the Yisurim.
What was the first mashal for?
Maybe isn't there a famous Gemara, Rabbi Yoel, that the question is why tzaddikim have have Yisurim and people who are Rosham.
There's the entire sefer called Sefer Eov that deals with this.
So there's a separate answer because maybe he's a Russia and he's getting paid back in this world.
No, you're talking about Akash of Tzaddik V'Ralo,
right?
Russia
Yeah.
V'Tovloi.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about the delivery system of Yisurim, not the reason why Yisurim come. Just the delivery. Like it's amazing to know that any pain in your life, it has a date. It arrives at a certain date, and before even it arrives, it already has an expiration date. In other words, your headache is going to leave you at this hour. Yeah, it's already all that.
What was the first mashal for?
Okay, Chaim is asking a very good shaila. He's asking, why do we need the first mashal? Why not give this mashal itself?
Yeah.
I think this is the nimshal. This is not the mashal. This is the nimshal. The mashal is the shaymer.
No, it talks about with the custodian, the one.
Right, that's the mashal. And the nimshal is so too Yisurim. You're asking about a guy who's walking in with Yisurim to Beis Avodah Zarah. No, the Yisurim is the conversation we're having right now. That's the conversation they're having. Rabbi Gamliel and Zun and Rabbi Akiva are talking about Yisurim. How come when a guy who has Yisurim walks into the Beis Avodah Zarah and he walks out, he's healthy? That was the question. So we bring you a mashal from the custodian. Just like the custodian doesn't want to lose his own trustworthiness simply because somebody else did something wrong, the Yisurim don't want to lose their own Shavua, don't want to violate. That's the nimshal. In other words, he explained it to him with a mashal from the custodian and applied it back to the Yisurim, to the question Yisurim. Okay. Unbelievable. You have a chaloim, roim, v'nemonim. How does it pass to say nemonim by a chayli? Answer is roim b'shlichusan v'nemonim b'shvuasan. They remain loyal to the shvua that they make. They're shlichus, that they come to be miyasa the guf, but they're also nemonim b'shvuasan. Amalei Rav Yitzchak Levi Yehuda, ha'ika beis avodas k'chavim ba'asren. There's a place that anytime they need rain, right? In the olden days, they relied on rain heavily, right? So if they need rain, so this Avodah Zarah appears to the people who serve it in their dreams. And he tells them, this Avodah Zarah in their dreams tells them, Shachtuli gavra, shecht me a person, v'aisa mitra, and if you shecht me a person, I'll bring rain. Okay? Shachtule gavra, but also mitra, and they do it. And rain comes. Amar Leis, Ravida said, gavaldige kasha. Hashta iyav shechivna li'amru l'cha milsa. If I would have been dead, I wouldn't be able to tell you this. The Amar Rav, my dechsiv, what does it say Asher cholak Hashem Elokecha oisam l'chol ha'amim, malamed she'echlikan b'dvarim kedei l'tardan min ha'olam. Hashem allows Ovdei Avodah Zarah, to have these dreams, these misleading dreams, so that they can be destroyed from the world. In other words, which is what the Gemara says, V'hainu, Damer Shlach, Shemai D'chsiv, Maleitzim u'yolas l'rov mit mechein, haboletame poischan lo, famous Gemara. Boletayr Messiah noisai. Somebody who is fixed on doing an Aveira, Hashem is going to open all the doors of Gehenna for you to enter and do the Aveira. Hashem is not going to stop you. Hashem is not going to stop you. So haboletame poischan lo, we open you up to that opportunity. And this is what Hashem is doing. Hashem is saying, if you are fixed on serving Avodah Zarah, okay, no problem. I'll allow you to have the dreams and all this. You'll be misled. No problem. But if you're bolatar, if you decide to come to Daf Yomi shiur, Messiah noisai, I will help you. By the way, it's very interesting. Very interesting. Why is it plural? Poischin, Messiahin. Who is the plural? It's Hashem, right? Messiah or Poiseach. So Rav Shaul says more thing. Rav Shaul says it's the angels. The Mashal says that when a person has a thought to do a good deed, angels are created from that thought. Yeah? And pass me the Chumash. Angels are created from that thought. And those angels help him to achieve and to follow through on the good thought to do the mitzvah, whatever he wanted to do. Yes, and the Vilna Gaon says, unbelievable. He says in a pasuk by the Akedah. Listen to this. This is really incredible. It says the Malach spoke. The Malach said to Avram Avinu, "Vayikra Elov Malach Hashem and Hashemayim." The angel spoke to Avram Avinu, and he said, "Ato yodati ki yirei Elokim ato v'lechasachtas binchas yichitchem," because you didn't withhold your son from me. Vilna Gaon says what? From me? The angel was speaking. It wasn't that he didn't withhold Yitzchak from the angel. He didn't withhold Yitzchak from Hashem. How can he say Mimeni? How can he say from me? Mimeni? The Amalek is talking as if he's God? That you didn't withhold your son from me. The angel? The angel is a shliach, right? Me Hashem. From Hashem. Yeah? So the Vilna Gaon says unbelievable. Vilna Gaon says, no. When Avraham Avinu had a thought to bring Yitzchak onto the Akedah, an angel was created. And based on your conviction to do the mitzvah, the healthier the angel is. If you're like, on the fence about it, so the angel's missing a leg, the angel is missing a shvacha angel, like a sick angel, right? It all depends on your energy and your passion. So the angel said to Avraham Avinu, said, you know how I know that you, Taka, didn't want to withhold your son from Hashem? Mimeni. Because when I look in the mirror and I see how strong I am, because I was created from your thought, that proves to me that you actually didn't withhold the Yitzchak from Hashem. So, it's an amazing thing that the Messiahin are the angels that are created when we do a mitzvah, which is my mitzvah, greatest mitzvah.
Isn't the harder it is, the better the angel?
What is that?
The harder it is, the better the angel, no?
The harder it is, the better the angel. The harder it is, the better the angel.
You have to want to do it, and you.
Right, that's part of it. But also, the more you want to do it, you really want to do it. Also, the bigger and the stronger and the healthier the angels. I remember I was once by the Ribnitzer Rebbe's Kever in Muncie.
Yeah.
If you ever been?
No.
I walked over there in a hot
That's
summer
here
day.
in LA.
Oh, remember over here? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I walked over Ribnitz, a Kodesh Meribnitz. I walked over a hot summer day I was staying by my sister's house in Muncie off the 360, it's called, whatever. And I walked over to the I didn't have my hat and jacket, so I'm like, I'm davening and then I write a kvittel, right? You put it by the kaver. I write a kvittel and I have a bunch of bakashas, right? So I have Parnasa, Shalom Bayez, Chinuch Yilodim, Yirah Shamayim. So my list was like, I think Parnasa was first. What? Hashem, yeah. So Parnasa was first. I think maybe Shalom Bayis, Chinuch Habana, whatever. Yirah Shamayim was at the end. So I'm about to throw it in. And I'm like, I feel like the Jewish guilt kicks in. I'm like, no way.
Wait a minute.
I look at the thing and I'm like, shouldn't there be Yirah Shamayim first? Right? Should be Yirah Shamayim first. So I take the pen and I erase Yiras Shamayim at the end and I like squeeze it in the beginning. I'm like, that should be our first request. Okay, I literally finished writing Yiras Shamayim. Finished writing it. A tap on my shoulder. I turn around. There's a guy who says, "You're Yoel Gold?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Could you do me a favor?" I said, "Yeah." I mean, depends what it is. I said first. He says, "There's a fellow here in Muncie that has ALS for I think it was 22 years already, a long, long time." He says, and he watches your videos. He can't, he's just sitting and his family gets chizuk. Would you just show up and say hello? So I'm like, I don't have a hat and jacket. I don't have a car. I walked there. I said, no, I'll drive you. I'll drive you right now. And I came to the house, walked in, and I was so nis'orer from this fellow. He's sitting, he's lying there for decades. All he does is learn, similar to what you brought me in with Rav Horowitz. So as soon as I came to him, I had a iris of tshuva. And I said, I don't know if you realize, you think I'm here for you, but you're the answer to my prayers. And I told him that I switched Yiras Shamayim from the bottom to the top.
Wow,
And as soon as I did that, Misayeh and Isai.
wow.
Let's take you to this place. Yeah. And you'll have a reset. You remember what life is about. That's the power of Habolatar. You just decide that Yiras Shamayim is above your parnasa. Yeah, as long as you decide that, then you have the Yiras
You
Shamayim.
created an angel.
Yeah,
That
no question
moment,
about it.
that moment.
No question about it.
That's moment.
In
you created an
safek,
angel.
in safek.
2019, when they had the in New York, we were there with him. Over there by the
His team of shots, yeah.
Oh yeah. It
I
was
saw you there with
that was him.
He's still alive.
That's right. It wasn't me speaking about him. It was a friend of mine. We had 3 people, but yeah, I think that was him. He made us see Mashas. It's incredible, and he's inspiration for a lot of people. I'm wondering if we could just do the Mishnah to get to Amud Beis. So look the Heilige Mishnah, yeah. Loichin gas be'utem and ha'ovet kechavim. The halacha is that you're not allowed to have enough from the wine of Avodah Zarah. Why not? Because it's yain nesach. So here the Mishnah talks about, I guess you have to understand the process of winemaking. But the way they used to make wine is they used to have a wine press, right? And they used to get into that wine press, into the basin over there, where they would tread on the grapes
Take off
to
their shoes and
squeeze,
socks and
to
wander-
squeeze
walk
it.
around.
Yeah. We wouldn't want to drink from that
Right,
wine.
yeah.
But they would squeeze the grapes, and that was called a gas. So loikhin gas be'utem david kachavim. You're allowed to buy wine from an avodah zarah if it was still in that gas, in the wine press.
איפה
Any,
שדרכו
איפה שדרכו עליו, that's mutar.
כל עוד שזה לא ירד לבור, זה לא.
Even though the guy touched it with his hand, no problem. And he already put the grapes that were squeezed onto a mound, for it to drip even more. The pulp, yeah. And it does not become yain nesach until it drips into a special bar, a special pit, where there it becomes wine. It gets the status of wine, and if the yored labar, and if the guy goes into that bar and touches that wine, mashal babar osir v'ashar mutter, then it becomes osir, and whatever you didn't touch
It's
is
like
mutter.
food. Like for example, before it's not chayav in truma until you collect it into a mound.
Yes. So like different stages, but this is the stage over here.
It's the
אני חושב שלמדנו את זה כבר פעם, למדנו את זה איתך.
אוקיי? יכול להיות שזה היה
זה
משנה
חוזר.
לפני. Okay? Dorchen am Oivich Begas Avaloi Boitzer and Imoy. You're allowed to go into that wine press, into the where you tread, into the gas to be dorich, but you can't be boitzer. Why not?
Boitzer
Because
means what?
you can't harvest it with the
Okay,
guy.
right. Yeah. Okay.
Why can you be dorich and not boitzer? Because the halacha is you're not allowed to be mevi chulin l'dei toma. In Eretz Yisrael, you can't take even regular produce and bring it to toma. So when you harvest the grapes with a guy, what you're doing is you are involving yourself in the process of leading these grapes to become tamei. Because when the guy takes it, it's gonna become tamei. But you're allowed to press it in the gas with him because then it became tamei already. So that's no problem. Once it becomes tamei,
What do you mean?
because the guy touched it,
Right,
in there.
so therefore-
So
right,
once
okay.
it becomes tamei, you're allowed to partner with him.
Right.
but you can't partner with him before it became tamei, because then you are becoming a partner in that process that you're not allowed to do. Yisrael sho'osim b'tumah l'derech v'levoitzrun imoy av melichin chavis lagas and vinam nagas. By Yisrael, who's not makbar on tumah, you're not allowed to do anything with him except deliveries. Deliveries, that's not part of the act itself of making a tamei that you're allowed to do, but you can't do anything else. Nachtem sho'osim b'tumah l'lashim l'oichin imoy av melichin pas l'palter. Again, the same halacha is by a nachtoim that you can't involve yourself with the dough in the process of making a dough if he's not makbar on tumah. But on deliveries, that's okay, because that's already tangential to it. Okay.